All right, what's up, man? What do we actually have to catch up on? We haven't talked to each other in like what, 2 months?
Yeah, so
I
within
think
the
I think actually it's been about 2 months because I think I checked and like we hadn't talked since like January 21st over Instagram,
yep, yeah, so
and
in
even before that there was like a good what month.
yeah, so in early January I moved over to my uncle's in Tauranga where I used to live. And
Mm,
because like, where I live now, okay, so I moved back to where I live now.
mm,
Um yeah, it kind of sucks here. It's like there's only 5,000 people living here. There's like no jobs. There's nothing to do, right? So I wanted to move back to Tauranga where everything is. You want to be out in the big wide world. You might as well go to where everything
yeah,
is. So
I mean, if it's so small that you can't get a fucking job there, you kind of have to leave because like there's a
yeah,
difference between not having a job but being able to actually get one
yeah,
and then literally not being able to work because there's no work to be done. Like,
exactly. No, that's very true. And so okay, so
probably why the town's so small.
yeah, so like I have my uncle that lives in Tauranga, and so I rang him up and I was like, hey, how does it sound if I so like let's make a deal, I'll be working full time, and I can pay you rent and all of that, and I can just stay with you, stay in a room and everything. And he was like, yeah, man, that's sweet. We'll discuss like the pricing of the rent and everything. And so I was happy with how much he wanted to charge me. It was actually quite cheap compared to all these other places I looked at staying.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm tired, so my voice is going to be a bit
Yeah, no,
croaky.
I can hear it. There's a little bit of a wobble to it, but all it sounds like is like you're this super sensitive, exotic person to American viewers. So we're good.
So like, okay, um, so yeah, and I think it was like on the 10th of January or something. I moved in with him, had my own room, man. I was all independent, moved out of my parents, all sweet. And
Mm.
so in the meantime, I didn't really secure any jobs. I just wanted to move out straight away, and so I got a job at Domino's as a delivery driver,
Mm.
and
If you don't secure a job, you're kind of stuck to like minimum wage only.
yeah, exactly. So I went to go. I already had an interview at this cool workplace, like a full time job and everything. And
Mm.
so I was just working at Domino's in the meantime just to pay rent and gas and all of that. And what's it? So I was just waiting to hear back from the job that I actually wanted, the full time 40-hour a week job.
Mm.
And I heard back from them, and apparently I had the job, and that was all sweet. And so I only worked at Domino's for like 1 week. That was it.
Mm.
And I just left. And
So you're still there now?
no, I'm not. I'm
You
back
moved
in.
back to the
I'm back.
small town?
Yeah, I'm back in the small town, and what's it?
So what happened? You secured the job
I
and you
s
were living.
Yeah, so I was living with my
Hold on, give
uncle.
me one sec.
Okay,
So
okay.
you got the job. You're living with your uncle. What happened next?
So yeah, I got the job at Turner's. Okay, this is the place it's called. It's called Turner's. So CarMax and all of that, like in the
Oh, like
States.
those car websites?
Yeah, like when you trade in, they will buy your used car off you, and
Mm.
they also have like car lots and stuff like that. So it's like, you can trade in your car, you can buy a new one for a discounted price, or you can just trade in your car and they can give you straight cash and
Mm.
all of that. So I got a job at Turner's, and so it's a car dealership, and I was there as a car groomer. So I'd be cleaning the cars, like interior, exterior, and I'd also be photoing them and listing them on Trade Me, and Trade Me is New
Mm.
Zealand's eBay.
That would be fucking fun, bro. I wish I had an opportunity like that around here.
It actually was quite fun, and I got to drive like all the cars that I got given to clean around. Like I drove
Oh,
some
that's
fucking
fucking fun for you.
yeah.
You're fucking hella into cars. Like I'm pretty into cars. Like I like cars. I don't know any like terminology in cars. I like
Oh
how
yeah,
cars look.
yeah. No, I'm really into cars. So like this was perfect for me. But
Mm.
so like I'd be doing my job. I was working straight like full time, like Monday to Friday, 40 hours a week, like 8 hour days.
Mm.
And what's it? Um, so like the employees that I worked with there, they were pretty chill at first. They um, they are welcoming the new kids since I was actually the youngest. I'm only 17, right? And like I because not many 17-year-olds just go move out of their parents and work full time straight up. So like,
True.
and so like I was pretty much the little kid of the of the workplace, and they treated me like that, just being dicks and like all of that. And I thought, oh yeah, that's just because I'm new. Like 2 months later, nah, they're still being absolute dicks to me, and they're really starting to mean it. So like I wasn't really getting on with the workers, and they were absolute dicks to me, and so was my boss. She was an absolute bitch. Like to me, she's like the wicked witch. And
Not
like,
bad, huh?
yeah,
I feel you, man.
she's a fucking bitch. And
Terrible boss.
yeah,
Remember when I worked at Safeway? Like I was complaining about it the whole time I was working there last summer. But
yeah,
I was working at when I was working at Safeway, I had this boss. I hated her guts, bro. I didn't hate her. It's complicated. I can't really hate her because she was kind of a friend of my mom. So it's like, okay, I can't hate you, but I can hate you. Like, you know what I mean? I have
yeah,
an intense dislike for this person.
yeah.
Like, I would rather not be around them, but I don't hate it. I don't hate her.
Mm.
But, like, I actually legitimately hated working there. I had legit hate for the corporation while I was working for it. Because I don't know why. It was like, I've kind of worked before. Like, I haven't had an official job before, but I've helped out at places, sometimes with my dad.
Yeah.
And so I kind of understood what I was doing, what I was getting into.
Right.
But it felt so unprofessional. That's what it was. It felt so unprofessional. There's a state law for underage labor working, because if you're under 18 and you're working, you have certain laws around you to protect you.
Yeah.
And I think Oregon, along with Nevada, are the only two states in Oregon that actually allow people who are under the age of 16 to work. We allow kids that are 14 and up to work. It's just there's a lot more heavier restrictions on anyone under the age of 16.
Mm.
So I had worked there, right? And you had to be 16 to work there. That was their thing. You had to be 16 to work there. So I went to this job thinking to myself, it's going to be a lot more professional than a McDonald's, where you send in 3 applications, no one even sends you an email for a yes or a no, and then your little brother fucking sends in his stuff and he gets his answer in like 5 minutes, and it's like, I've been waiting for 9 months. What happened?
Yeah. Okay. I apologize for like interrupting and all of that, but what is the type of workplace that you work for? Like, what sort of job was it?
I was what was called a courtesy clerk.
Okay.
So basically, you know how there was the people running the registers?
Yeah.
Instead of them working the registers and then bagging the food and bagging the items in the bags like they normally do, we bag it. We're
Okay.
basically like cheap janitors and manual labor and like just stupid stuff that no one wants to do. We do it. So if someone drops something and it breaks and it shatters and it's all over the floor in an aisle, we clean it up.
Fuck.
If there's a food item, right, that a aisle has and it's either expired or they want to put it back, they call us like, hey, you need to either go put it in the back or you need to go put it back where it was. And it's like, okay, where is it? I don't know. You'll find it.
Yeah. So you're pretty much the store's bitch.
Yeah, basically. I'm like I didn't do stalking. That was the one thing that you'd think we do that we don't do. We don't do stalking. Basically, we do all the stuff they can get away with paying us cheap for without us actually doing work.
Wow. That's kind of
so like we'd clean stuff, we'd polish the trash cans. That's actually something that we do, by the way.
Polish the trash can.
They have like this certain little thing on it that when you wipe a trash can with it, you notice how like when you go in and it's really dry and it's really late, that the trash cans are like really pale looking, kind of.
Yeah.
What we do is we take this super dark polish and wipe it over with it really quick. like just up down like the fucking Karate Kid movie, just wax on, wax off
Yeah.
the whole thing, except just wax on. You just put it all on the trash can. We do it to the scooters, the like mobility scooters for people that are handicapped physically.
Mm.
You know, they ride those scooters. They have like the motorized ones, so that way they can get their stuff without like
Fucking,
needing to bring their own supplies.
Yeah. I got you.
So that's nice. That's a good thing that they do. But like, we also have to polish the seat and the little foot area along with the handlebars. We have to do every single trash can in the store with that. By the way, completely.
That's hard. That's really hard.
And there's like 10. No one will think this because they don't realize this. But when I mean everyone in the store, the only places we weren't doing it were the actual individual like managers' offices. I was at the whole store. You know, every single trash can in the building, the ones in the bathrooms, the ones in the staff lounge, the ones in the actual like the store, every single side room, the stock rooms. Every single trash can, polish all of it.
Shit.
And the reason why I was doing it, even though I was new, and yeah, that's the thing, by the way. This isn't even supposed to be done by new people that are working there. Older, more experienced people are supposed to do it. And I had 2 specific jobs that I wasn't supposed to be able to do it, but I still did because they were understaffed. One was like going across the store and basically putting things together the right way. I would go into the individual aisles and clear the aisles. I would go into the rooms, polish all the trash cans, and I would take all this stuff and I would bring it to the back room. All the trash and stuff, you would throw the trash away into a designated area, and anything that was a box, like cardboard, you would put into this machine, right? And it would basically crunch it all up.
Okay.
I'm not even supposed to touch that thing legally, right?
Yeah, it's fucking dangerous, bro. It crushes shit.
Yeah, literally 2 months before, there was some dude who had like crawled in there to get something out, and he died. It killed him. It crushed him.
Holy shit.
And then there was a law like you can't be operating it if you're under 18. I never operated it, but what they had me do was I wasn't even supposed to be around it, but they would make me take the stuff and throw it in there. That's not bad, you know. It's not really a big rule breaking. Like they're not making me actually crush the shit.
Yeah.
You know. So like it's just like frowned upon to do it.
Right.
My issue is that it wasn't the stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing that was the issue. I didn't care about any of that. It was stupid work, right? It's not fun, but I'm getting paid for it. The thing that bothered me was we have to do carts, right? This is summer in a desert, all right? It is over 100 degrees, and technically speaking, we're not supposed to be out there for longer than an hour in any one sitting. And we have to be supplied water. I had to pay for my own water.
Really? They didn't even
I had
give
to
you
pay
wood.
for the water bottle myself. Yeah, no, I had to pay for my own
Holy shit.
for work, right? Not only that, but I would get like thrown out there for an hour, right? And I'd be out there for an hour and a half. Or I'd be out there for 2 hours in one sitting. And it's like, no break? Are you serious?
My God.
There, basically, how we worked was in 2 settings. One was in the store, where you're bagging stuff and you're cleaning stuff up if you have to, and that's basically it. And then there's outside, where we do carts, where when people go into a Walmart or a Safeway or something like that, there's all these carts everywhere, you know? And people don't realize it, but we have those specific sections for a reason. Put your carts in there so it makes it easier for us to all bring them back in, because we have to bring them back in. Every single hour on the hour, people are going out to bring carts back inside the store because people are bringing them out and leaving them out there.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, like any person would think to themselves, they would have enough carts for the whole day. No, they don't have enough money for that. That's like hundreds of thousands of fucking carts for every like
cheap.
town.
They're not cheap.
That's not cheap.
But that needs
So
to be supplied,
basically,
though.
everyone is like running around and bringing them back in and all that stuff, right? And I understand why. They literally can't pay for it. That's like, if you have to do for every single one just in America, bruh, you're looking at millions upon millions of dollars just on carts. They probably already spend that on the few that they give to their stores.
Yep.
But yeah, and it was the reason why I hated it so much is like if they had supplied me the water, great, I could drink the water. If they allowed me to take breaks in between, like if I'm out there for 2 hours, sometime in those 2 hours, let me come inside for 10 minutes and cool off,
Yeah,
and then I'll
exactly.
go back out. You
You,
know, but like they didn't do that, and they wouldn't tell me my hours until the last minute. I was like, all right, listen, I can work so and so hours every day, so and so days, and I don't want to work weekends. That's what I said.
yeah,
That's exactly what I said. That was my schedule, and I was firm on that. That was my schedule, or I don't care if you would hire me or not. So like that was it. I was stubborn on that point. Like I had a specific amount of hours I could work at, and only doing like certain stuff. So that was it. And it
yeah,
was probably a little childish to assume that I could go into any place and get a job like that with ease. I did manage to get the job, and they agreed to it at the start. And then what they
yeah.
would do is like I would be like, "Hey, I can only work 2 3 days of the week. I can work 6 hours." They put me on 2 days for 8 hours. And it's like okay, and then the third day is for 10 hours, and it's like what? I said 6. I need to go home.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are times when like work will unexpectedly call you in to, fill
Yeah,
in for
with
someone else.
Safeway, one thing that I did like about Safeway, which was good, and more jobs should do this if they don't, is that they have this little program set up where you sign your name if for yes or no, and what they'll do is if they have an open position, they'll call you. They have you on a list. The first person on the list, first person that get called, and then they go down the list.
Okay. That.
So if
Yeah.
you say yes, they can call you, be like, "Hey, do you want to come in 2 hours early and do an 8 hour shift instead of a 6 hour one?" And
Right.
you could be like, I actually don't have anything planned. Sure, I could use a little extra cash.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, no, I have something planned. I can't do that. And they'll be like, all right. And then they'll hang up, call the next person. So that was cool. My problem was like, give me the 6 hours and then ask me if I want to do these 8 hour, 10 hour shifts. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Well.
Ask me. Like if I say, yeah, I'm down, I could use some more cash, then okay. But like if I'm not, leave me alone. Stop trying to force me
Yeah.
to
Because.
work longer than we agreed upon me working.
Yeah. Because you said to them, you made it clear. This is how many hours I want to do. This is what I want to work, and they agreed to that. They gave you the
Yeah.
job. They're like, yeah, that's sweet. No worries.
Yeah, and one more thing is the amount of disrespect I got from my coworkers was like insane. I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. Every single lady that was working there, 80% of my coworkers that I was seeing on a day-to-day basis, right,
Mm.
on the floor, were women, elderly women, and
God.
elderly women are great. Like my grandma, I love my grandma. She's awesome. She's cool. I have two grandmas. Both of them are awesome. But like one of them I love with moderation. Like I can deal with them for about 4 hours every day.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean,
Like
dude.
I
Because like.
love them, but sometimes because they're so wizened in their years, I'm trying not to insult them because they are my grandparents. It's like they are so stubborn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Okay.
more stubborn than a little kid. Kind of
Yeah.
stubborn. Like what they want, that's what's happening. No other decision. When two elderly people get into an argument, they're still arguing about it 20 years later.
Damn straight.
Like, I love my grandparents, but like, take a chill pill.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
I got my grandmother. She got me a job at a souvenir store that she was working at. This is my first job. This was when I was under 16, right? So you have to be 16
So it wasn't
and
like a
over.
real job. It was like,
So I was pretty much
do
just
this
like,
for me, I'll give you $20, like kind of.
yeah. I was there to help out my grandmother. I was getting paid by the boss and everything. Like I had an interview and everything. I was just helping out my grandmother there, and so I was always at the counter. Sorry, at the register, and what's it? Since it was a souvenir store, you'd get old people like coming in all the time trying to buy little knickknacks. Cause like it was also like a Latina store as well, and so I had to deal with a lot of old people. And what's that? Gosh, man, like when they tell me to do so, they like I've never been bossed around so much in my life by like old people. Like these are just old people, you know. And since like in New Zealand here, we got a lot of British in us. Like all these old ladies would be like, you know, oh, I'm from Yorkshire,